breaking news. Young Thug has had a revocation of probation motion put in, meaning they trying to violate Young Thug's probation and send him back to prison for 15 years. Sit back, watch the way this play out. It's crazy, but we like to ride. All right. So this is what it is, right? We got Young Thug that's been arrested. I'm going to put it on a big joint for y'all because I want y'all to really see this and see what's going on, right? Young Thug done got himself caught up, and I want you to listen and you tell me in the comments if you think that they should be able to revoke his probation because he posted, he reposted a post of them talking about the DA and people made threats about the DA. So watch this video right here, the news clip.
Now to that Channel 2 Action News exclusive on rapper Young Thug. Tonight, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office filed a motion to revoke his probation. The rapper was released on bond last November. We broke the story on WSBTV.com around 8:30 tonight. And Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie joins us now live from the newsroom. Mark, the DA spoke exclusively to you about this motion.
Yeah, this concerns the YSL gang racketeering conspiracy case. Last year, DA Fonnie Willis suggested to us the sentence for rap superstar Young Thug, real name Jeffery Williams, that let him hit the street the night he pled guilty or nolo contendere to all charges he faced was a sentence which could send him to prison for years if he crossed the wrong line. Now this. If your motion is successful, Young Thug would go to prison.
He could.
Do you see how serious she looks? She's taking this as a straight war against Young Thug. She wants her get back.
A new and dramatic verse in the case surrounding music star Young Thug, real name Jeffery Williams. A motion from prosecutors at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office to revoke Williams' probation. It says, quote, since sentencing, the defendant has engaged in conduct that directly threatens the safety of witnesses and prosecutors, compromises ongoing legal proceedings, and warrants immediate revocation of probation.
You heard that? Immediate revocation of probation. That means when he walk in that courtroom, his heart is going to be beating like gunshots. I know that feeling. I've been there. Where you hoping for the best, but you expecting the worst. You understand? You expect the worst and you hope for the best. That's how life is when you choose to be a criminal. And it's sad when I think back because I remember, let's ride. I remember the first time I went to go see a judge out there in Jersey. I'm even going to say his name, you know. Big Cougarmeister, you know. Big shout out to Cougarmeister. You know? I'm giving a shout out to Cougarmeister. Relax. I went to go see Judge Cougarmeister, right? And when I went to go see Judge Cougarmeister, I was supposed to get probation, right? So I stayed up all the night before. I'm running all up in Harlem, in the Bronx. You know, I'm getting high. I'm hanging out with the homies and you know, then I go home and I'm still getting high, and then my father come wake me up and he take me over there to the courthouse, right? Because, you know, I was a juvenile. So he takes me over there to the courthouse. I go to the courthouse and I go in there and I just know I'm going home. And this judge gave me 60 days in the county jail and 4 years probation. 60 days. And 4 years. I wasn't supposed to get to 60 days. So my heart dropped, boom. Then when I got there and they pulled up at the jail, there was this big muscular white dude that was handcuffed to somebody else. And as soon as we pulled up to the gate, they opened the door. He just jumped out the joint and started running. And he's dragging the other inmate with him. And he's banging against the walls. And he's refusing to go into prison. And the dude is with him like, yo, what the hell you handcuffed me to? You know, but these are the things that you go through. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this for my first time. And I said, wow. You know, because this is my first time locked up out there in Jersey. So now, when we get up in the joint, I said, all right, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I got to get a new pair of sneakers. So I got to see somebody my size and knock them out, you know. Because that's how we was bitten back then, you know what I mean? It was all a part of, you know, you're on the street, you're taking things. You go to the prison now, you're taking things, and you can get away with it because, you know, even if they go to the police is going to tell them, well, what do you want me to do about it? You want to go to PC? You scared? And ain't nobody trying to go to PC, so they wind up sitting there and they pay their dues and do what they do. Let's get back to Jeffery Williams, what's going on about them trying to revoke his probation, so you don't think we forgot where it's at, because we be riding for all y'all that just coming here for the first time.
Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis.
What our motion is concerned about is that we certainly believe that his post was to threaten law enforcement.
Now, you heard that his post was to threaten law enforcement, and all he did was repost a post. Listen, watch this.
Which is all part of gang activity.
Jeffery Williams' attorney Brian Steele told me by phone it is never appropriate to be engaged in any type of witness intimidation. It is never appropriate to threaten to murder another person. The prosecution's motion to revoke Jeffrey's probation should not be well received and should be swiftly rejected. It is irresponsible to file a motion of this sort when Jeffrey has done absolutely nothing, Steele said, to violate any condition of probation or threaten a witness.
We know that it is clear to Mr. Williams that the intent of the district attorney is to stop gang activity in Fulton County, Georgia.
That don't mean that she's not a liar. I'm just saying. Okay, that's a job, but does that mean that she's not a liar? Put it in the comments. What do you think? Because she took an oath, does that mean that she's not a liar? Put it in the comments. Let's see what y'all think.
We believe the judge's order is clear and that this is an intentional violation.
The motion says investigator Marissa Viverito is currently testifying in a gang murder hearing and indicates a judge ordered the witness not be shown on TV while testifying, but that a blogger posted on social media she doesn't want to be shown on screen. Well, here she is, along with a photo of the investigator. The motion says on Tuesday, Young Thug reposted the image, and the post went viral, amassing more than 2 million views.
So there it is right there. On Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, Jeffery Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, amplified this act by reposting the image with the caption, Marissa Viverito is the biggest liar in the DA's office. Now, Young Thug, come on, man. I mean, you know, I ride with the homies and all that, but that right there sounds crazy, that you're reposting something saying that someone in the DA's office is a liar, and you just got out the situation you got in with the longest trial in Georgia history, or one of the longest trials, because you know the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls, they just sitting in the cut. It wasn't the longest, it was one of the longest, you know, because they got nothing else to do. But back to Jeffrey, what is wrong with you? Let me say it again. On Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, look how quick and swiftly they went at this man. Jeffery Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, amplified this act by reposting an image with the caption, Marissa Viverito is the biggest liar in the DA's office. Right? Then they said this post quickly went viral, you know, amassing over 2 million views. I didn't even see it. But 2 million, that's how big the world is, you know, with thousands of comments and retweets, right? Now, listen. So let's ride so you understand, right? But you know what? I'm going to wait till they get to that part, then we're going to ride out.
The motion says Viverito's home address and her parents' home address were publicly posted, exposing them to grave danger, and that hours later, an additional post emerged threatening the assassination of D.A. Willis.
Right there, that initial post, right, that threatened the assassination of D.A. Willis, the crazy part is they're going to try and twist this up to make it that Young Thug tweet did that he's inciting that. You know, so whatever they post in the comments, so now all the rat bastards and flip-flop and public trolls, your comments right now is going to be used against Young Thug, that you may go out there and carry out these acts from this subliminal message that Young Thug allegedly sent you when he reposted that and calling her a liar and making her food. Or as we said in our days, fair game, you know? So do you understand that they're going to try to hold Young Thug responsible for what the comments say, not what the commenters did. Remember, we got Cashbox. This program is sponsored by Cashbox. If you send your money and it goes to the wrong person, when they go to accept it, there's a virtual vault in the middle, and then it notifies you like a two-step notification and say, hey, such and such is trying to pick up the money. You look, you see who it is, and you say, nah, I didn't want to send them that much, or I didn't want to send that person that. You know, and then you could change whatever you want or even cancel it after they accept it, because it don't get deposited to their account when you use Cashbox until you give the final notation. We got that, y'all? All right, let's ride out.
The motion alleges Williams' continued association with individuals actively involved in witness intimidation, threats of violence, and obstruction of justice constitutes a clear violation of probation conditions. Now, last year, Ms. Willis suggested to us there was room for accountability in Young Thug's complicated sentence involving 5 years commuted time served, followed by 15 years probation, to be followed by a, quote, backloaded 20-year prison term, which would also be commuted to time served if he successfully completes the probation, which was loaded with lots of special conditions.
Now, Young Thug in a world of a lot of trouble, man. That's all I can say about that. He's in a world of a lot of trouble. Now, where we at, so you could fully understand, right? I seen this right here, and this is the actual motion that they put in to revoke his probation. Seti Nash is going to be reading this. I love his program. Check him out. But check this out now. He does excellent commentary. All right.
State of Georgia versus Jeffery Williams, defendant. State's motion to revoke probation, sent to Paige Whitaker. Comes now. The state of Georgia, volume through the undersigned counsel, and moves this honorable court to immediately revoke the probation of defendant Jeffery Williams. The defendant has demonstrated a blatant disregard for the law, the safety of witnesses, and the integrity of judicial proceedings. The state submits that the defendant's continued presence in the community under probationary supervision presents a clear and present danger to public safety and undermines the rule of law. Background. On October 31st, 2024, the defendant, Jeffery Williams, was sentenced to probation with conditions that include no contact with the victim and victim's family. The defendant pled guilty, and the conditions of probation were imposed pursuant to OCGA 42-8-35, which authorizes courts to establish and enforce conditions necessary to protect the public and uphold the administration of justice. Since sentencing, the defendant has engaged in conduct that directly threatens the safety of witnesses and prosecutors, compromises ongoing legal proceedings, and warrants immediate revocation of probation, escalating threats and witness intimidation. Investigator, and I knew that I effing knew.
The court sentence is 20 years to serve 5.
Let me throw a full disclaimer, because I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna be fair, right? And it says, blaming Jeff because finally got a death threat. Please get the F out of here. And the Thugger Daily says that's not what the caption said. Good job lying again, Fulton County. Thug did not put her name out there. And even if he did, why can't he publicly criticize the system that prosecuted him? We step it all over the First Amendment. Then he highlighted when it says on April 1st, 2025, Jeffery Williams, aka Young Thug, amplified this act by reposting the image with the caption, Marissa Viverito, the biggest liar in the DA's office. This post went quickly viral, amassed over 2 million views with thousands of comments and retweets, many of which included direct threats to investigator Viverito. So, with all due respect, Thugger Daily, you're saying Thug didn't put her name out there, but he did amplify the actual post. So Thug had to make sure to come out and say this. I don't make threats, people. I'm a good person. I would never condone anyone threatening anyone or definitely participating in threatening anyone. I'm all about peace and love. The Thugger Daily goes on to say, so Viverito is allowed to call Thug a bunch of probably false things in front of the world, lie about him putting $24 million on someone's head, lie about his album cover being called a gang war, etc. But he can't call her a liar? Nah. Judge herself heavily implied the prosecutors were lying at times, and they were.
Now, so that's where we at, so you fully understand, right? What do you think? Do you think that they should be able to revoke his probation behind this or not? Somebody put in the comments so that we know exactly what's going on here. And what do you think? Because I can't even believe that they doing it like this. But, you know, freedom of speech. I mean, somebody tell me something, you know? But it is what it is. Been on here long enough. Let me tap out. Just wanted to give y'all something. We out of here. All right. Oh, yeah. Sadie Nash, thanks for the news article. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squealing to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours, so we can get back to the
cheers, cheers, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.